This is episode 1 of the CySec101 training series, available on TryHackMe, and this is going to be a part of a very large playlist that is on this channel. On this episode, we're going to go through the offensive security intro, the introduction to offensive security. We're going to hack our first website legally, obviously, and then we're going to learn some of the other important things about offensive security. The big question, the first question that comes up is, what is offensive security? And the best way that we can answer this question is by this quote right here. So to outsmart a hacker, you need to think like one. And you've probably seen movies, I've seen so many of these movies because I love these kinds of movies, where the police or the FBI or some kind of government security entity or something needs to go find this really advanced criminal. And the only way that they can do it is to go into the prison system and get somebody that's already been arrested that's a really advanced criminal, and then they use the criminal to go find this other criminal. And the only way that you can do that is to think like a criminal. That's why they did it. And this is what's important about this specific quote and really the whole concept of offensive security. That's literally the core of offensive security. So breaking into computer systems or networks of computers, software bugs, finding loopholes in applications to gain unauthorized access. And it may not even be a digital technical infrastructure. It could be getting access to a building and you go dress up in a really nice suit or dress up as the maintenance guy or something, go buy like one of the costumes. It's Halloween season right now, so you probably find a bunch of different maintenance costumes, but like go get these specific outfits that would make someone think that you are supposed to gain entrance into this building, hang out by the door. One of the employees goes in, and as they scan the door and get in, they're like, hey, could you hold the door for me real quick? And you literally walk into the, I've done that so many times. And I went into the building, I met with the manager, and I was like, hey, listen, this is kind of a really big deal. Your guy just let me in, or that girl just let me in. They didn't even ask who I was. They were like, oh, sure, come on in. That was it. And that is a flaw. That's a vulnerability in the security of that system, and it's offensive security. So I'm trying to get into their building. I'm trying to get into their computer system. And if somebody lets me in, I'm in. I don't have to do anything fancy. I don't need to know how to pick a lock. If somebody just lets me in because I socially engineered my way in, then I'm in. It doesn't matter how I got in. I got in. And that's something that needs to be patched. That's a vulnerability that needs to be fixed inside of that system, inside of that environment. So it's very important to understand this, right? And that's the whole philosophy behind offensive security. So as you begin your journey inside of the CySec101 pathway and going into TryHackMe and getting your membership, which involves a lot of free rooms. This specific room is free. A lot of the rooms inside of the CySec101 pathway are free. You're going to be guided to hacking the first website in this specific environment. It's legal, it's safe. That's one of the big things about TryHackMe, is that you can actually do hacking exercises, use hacking tools for free in a lot of cases, and it's safe, it's legal. You're doing it in a controlled environment, and you won't be charged with a felony, because if you do it in an uncontrolled environment, you're going to be charged with a felony because it's a felony to hack people. So the goal is to show you how an ethical hacker actually operates. And before we do that, we're going to answer a few questions. We got to type your answer. I've already done this, so the answer is already on the screen. I'm going to try to see, you may have already just seen it, but the question is this, right? Which of the following options better represents the process where you simulate an attacker's actions to find vulnerabilities in a system? Is it offensive security or is it defensive security? And it should be pretty obvious, right? So the answer is offensive security. So that is what offensive security actually is. Now, let's actually hack our first machine. All right, so while the virtual machine loads, I'm going to give you some basic standard operating procedures when it comes down to using TryHackMe and their virtual machines. So in a lot of the rooms, you're going to find something like this. This button was originally a bright green button, and it's Start Machine. You click on that, and then you see something on the side right here that is initializing. Usually, sometimes, it is not showing, and then you'll see something like this right here where it says show split view, and then there's also attack boxes that are inside of TryHackMe that sometimes they'll give you the IP address of the victim machine, which is what we'll see over here. you'll have the IP address of the victim machine, but then you need your attack box to actually attack that machine. And you can either do that through OpenVPN and connecting from your computer to the VPN of TryHackMe, and then using your computer as the attack box, and then using that to attack the victim machine. But in my opinion, and I mean in a lot of cases, a lot of the tools that they're going to recommend that you use, if it's not already pre-installed on your machine, or you're not running Kali Linux that you downloaded from the Kali website, then it's best to actually use their attack box, because the attack box already has all of the tools that you would need pre-installed on it. So if you're going to use your own computer, I would recommend you do a Kali Linux machine that you've gotten from Kali Linux website, and that way you have all of the tools installed on your computer, and then you can use OpenVPN to connect to the network of TryHackMe, and then from there you can attack the victim machine, because you won't be able to get the IP address, you won't be able to load or attack the IP address unless you either connect via VPN or you're already using the attack box from TryHackMe. So that is how this whole thing works. Now, I think this is already loaded. Yeah, it is already loaded, and we already have the website. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to open this up inside of a full screen so that it's a little bit easier for us to view. And the goal here is that we're going to try to enumerate something from this bank, which is fakebank.thm. So our goal, our entire goal right here, is to find a specific hidden directory, or maybe not even a hidden directory, because we're going to be able to find it. But we're supposed to find a directory inside of this bank's website that will allow us to do certain nifty little things. And the way that we're going to do that is we're going to use a tool called GoBuster. And GoBuster is something that I use all the time. We use it in a lot of our pen testing exercises, and it's a very powerful tool, and it comes pre-installed with Kali Linux. So GoBuster is a very powerful tool, and it helps you enumerate, which basically means you find what is available, you look at everything that is existing on a certain platform. You can enumerate usernames, see how many usernames there are. You can enumerate domain extensions or directories to see what kind of directories exist. You can enumerate sub-networks or subdomains to see what exists over there. So GoBuster is a very, very powerful tool that allows you to do a lot of great enumeration stuff right here. And so in this particular case, the command is gobuster-u, which stands for URL, and you give it the URL, and then from there you have to use some kind of a word list, and they've already given this to us in this particular virtual machine, so we don't need to do anything extra. We just need to run this particular command, and then as long as we run this command, we should be able to get exactly what we want from the results. So alright, so the first thing that we want to do is we want to open up a terminal, which can be done by pressing this terminal button right here, or you can just double click this terminal button right here. So I'm just going to do that. It's going to open up my terminal. I always like to see what let me just say that again. I always like to see where I'm at and what is in the directory that I already get loaded into. So the first thing that we would do was pwd to just print our working directory where we're at, and it says we're in the desktop. And then we run ls, and we see we got a couple of things over here. We got the fakebank.desktop, we have mateterminal.desktop, and then we have a word list. And this is going to be the word list that we're going to use when we run GoBuster. So GoBuster is a very simple command, really, really easy. It's going to be GoBuster, and then we want to run it in dir mode. In the command that they have over here, they put dir at the end of it. I like using the mode at the very beginning of the command. So dir means we're just looking for the directories that exist inside of this domain, and so we're going to do -u for the URL, http, and then fakebank.thm. And that's it. And then you're going to do -w for the word list.txt, and that's pretty much it. And then you just run your command, and then it says, okay, so let's see what it says. The word list w must be specified, use w for stand in, and then URL domain must be specified, which I think I did. So let's see what I missed right here. So http fakebank.thm, and it's w word list txt dir. So maybe it's because I didn't use exactly the command that they had, and I think everything else was actually right. So let's do this one more time, but we're going to do it exactly what they said. So we're going to do -u http fakebank.thm, and then -w wordlist.txt, and then we'll do dir at the end. Okay, so I guess in this particular instance, you have to put dir at the end, which is weird because I never do that. But whatever. All right, so you put dir at the end, and then you see that it's running now, and then we're getting all the results, and it just finished. So you have two directories that were found. One of them is the images directory, and the other one is the bank transfer directory. So let's go to the bank transfer directory and see what we can do here. So bank transfer directory, and it says admin portal, send from account number and send to account number, amount, etc., etc. So interesting. So we're on that directory. Let's see, do we have an account number to transfer money from? Interesting. So your mission is to transfer $2,000 from bank account 2276 to your account, which is 8881. And if your transfer was successful, you should now be able to see your new balance reflected on the account page. So let's go and get some money. And so let's go back, right? Because it showed us our balance is negative. So we want to get ourselves out of the negative balance. So that's what we're going to do, is we're going to go and use the bank transfer page to transfer some money into our account. And the account number that we're using is 2276, and it's going to go to 8881. There we go. And then I'm going to do 20,000 instead of 2,000. Let me see if I can do it. Transfer completed. Oh my God. Instead of doing 2,000, I did 20,000. So let's return to the account. Look at that. I got 18,000. That's so fun. That's so exciting. It's so cool to be able to do stuff like this. Can you imagine if it was that easy to transfer money from some bank, whatever bank account number, to your bank account, and then you got an extra $20,000 deposited? How crazy is that? So there it is. Okay, so now it says above your account balance, you should now see a message indicating the answer to this question, and it does show it right here. So it says the TryHackMe question is bank hacked, which was the answer that we got right here. And so if you're a penetration tester or a security consultant, this is an exercise you'd perform for companies to test for vulnerabilities in their web applications and find hidden pages to investigate for vulnerabilities. Terminate the machine by clicking the red terminate button, and then we'll be done with this exercise. So we actually hacked an actual website right now, and that's pretty crazy to think about, that you were able to just do this. So you can also do terminate machine, that's at the bottom right here, or you can click that red terminate button that was at the top right there. So we terminated the website or the machine that was run, and we were able to use GoBuster to find a directory that we should not have had access to inside of this bank, and we were able to transfer money that there should be some kind of a password or something, right? Like, we shouldn't be able to just transfer money from somebody else's account to our own account. That is insane to be able to do. And I highly, highly recommend that you do not do this against Bank of America or Chase or Citibank, or like, don't do this against their website, because they will find you. All these things are, you can track back to whoever ran the scan for GoBuster, and they can find your, there's a lot of ways to find hackers, okay? So don't do this. It's a felony. Do not enumerate your bank. Do not try to hack your bank. I'm just telling you right now, that's why we do this inside of the TryHackMe environment. But that's what we did. That was Offensive Security 101. That was the first thing that we did to be able to hack a bank account, or hack a bank, I guess. So cool exercise, right? I hope you liked it, because I really love doing that. That was one of my favorite exercises out of everything. It's so simple, but it's like so fun to do. So in this room, we talked about some offensive security concepts. We went through hacking the actual first website, and you learned how to use GoBuster, which is a very important tool when it comes down to penetration testing and offensive security. And there are a lot of different things that you can do inside of the cybersecurity world, as they kind of mention inside of the careers in cybersecurity room that we're going to talk about at the very, very end of this pathway and this training series. There's a lot of stuff that you can do. Cybersecurity is a massive world, and the next piece that we're going to talk about is going to be defensive security, and then there's a lot of stuff that you can do over there as well. I like offensive security because it's kind of fun to just hack companies and get paid to do it, and you get permission to hack them and attack them. I think it's really cool. But some people don't like doing it. Some people want kind of the more chill route, and they want to be a security analyst and just sit there and look at the security appliances and see what's going on, and that's all really cool too. You get paid really well on either ends of that spectrum, so it's all good. So we're going to talk about web enumeration. We're going to talk about a lot of other things as we follow along this specific pathway, but that was basically it. That's all it takes to understand what offensive security is and what it takes to be an offensive security analyst. There are a couple of recommended rooms at the bottom right here, which is the web enumeration room and the web hacker or become a hacker room. The web enumeration room I've already actually done, and I want to say that there actually is a video on this already, but I haven't done it from the perspective of trying to teach a beginner that's going through this for the very first time. So you can definitely go and try to find it, because there are, you know, GoBuster and WP scan and all the various tools that we're going to use, Nikto, all those things are going to be available inside of that room. And then there's the become a hacker room, which actually I have not done, which is very similar to what we just went through, the offensive security introduction. And then from there, there's Let's Hack Part 1 and Part 2. And then they just go through careers of cybersecurity as well. So that's another cool piece that I feel like we can actually just do right now. So we already did this, so we might as well just kind of go into this second portion and do the Let's Hack Part 1 and 2 of this specific room, and we'll make it a nice robust offensive security video. Why not? So let's just do that real quick. And so the very first portion of this particular become a hacker room was also, you know, what is the process where you simulated a hacker's actions, and of course the answer to that was offensive security as well. So that's all good. So now we're going to go into this exercise right here, which is Let's Hack Part 1 of 2. And instead of having a machine that we're going to load, we can actually look at a site that we're going to go and pen test against. So I'm going to zoom out of this right here, and I'm going to do the view site button, and they're going to load this site for us. And so it says there are two sections, an upper browser simulating the URL and a lower terminal for experimenting with prompts. Success follows the right choices of URLs and prompts. So enjoy exploring. So let's see what the scenario for Let's Hack Part 1 of 2 is. Okay, so after months of working on his business idea, Mike was finally ready to launch the website. He had spent much time and effort creating a great product and was confident people would love it. However, he was also nervous about the potential for cyber threats. He knew that businesses of all sizes were being hacked every day, and he did not want to be a victim. You get a call asking you to assess his web application and see if you can spot any weaknesses. In particular, he's concerned that the software development team might have forgotten some private pages exposed to the public, and he hopes you can find them before he goes public and the bad guys find them and wreak havoc. So, if we haven't already done so, which we already did, we're going to click View Site. And then we're going to see a simulated browser, which we already saw, showing the online shop.thm. And then we also have a terminal right below it that we can go ahead and interact with it. So a few things that we can do are finding the sitemap, so the embedded browser, to see what it actually shows us on the sitemap and what information is displayed to us. And a lot of times it should not be even publicly accessible. It should be something that maybe gets indexed by a search engine or something like that, but it shouldn't be publicly accessible. There's the mail subdomain or the mail extension, the mail directory, login, register, and admin. All of these things should not be accessible, in my opinion. Maybe login should be accessible, but only to a certain IP address that has been whitelisted, and everybody else should be denied. Register should probably be publicly accessible. Admin should definitely only be available to the admin. It should not be publicly accessible. And login may be connected to the people who register on the website, so maybe that's what it is. So that could be perfectly fine. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to find the hidden page by using one of the words in the listed above. And a simulated browser in the upper right corner, try changing the address by adding a word to the existing URL until you discover the correct word that leads to a hidden page. Using an automated tool like GoBuster, we can also run the command GoBuster dir. See, they put dir at the beginning of the command this time, and the URL was going to be the actual URL. And then we have a word list, which is the dirbuster directory list txt, and the output is going to be redacted for us. But that way you can also find the extensions, the directories that are going to be like that. And since we're going to be using this to become hackers and we want to be good at offensive security, I am not going to do this manual of attaching these things to the end of the domain name. I want to actually run the GoBuster command and use it in that regard. So we're going to use GoBuster in this case, and then we're going to run it against Homeboy's URL to see what happened and whether or not things like that should even exist, right? So user share word lists dirbuster directory list.txt, and then press enter. And there we go. Damn, that was fast. And so that's the command that we ran. So it shows us the command gobuster dir URL, so on and so forth. That's the full command that I ran that was on the screen right here. And then we got the results immediately. That was very, very fast. So we have images, CSS, JS, and login. So login is something that is available. And the question says, what is the name of the hidden web page that you discovered? So I guess it's login. There you go. And what was the hint going to be? They usually give you some good hints too. So it says you should be able to find it in this list of etc., etc. But we ran freaking GoBuster because we are hackers and we're going to use tools. We're not going to do manual enumeration. I mean, you can. A lot of times you actually learn a lot of good stuff from manual enumeration as well, but I want you to learn how to use GoBuster. I want you to be good at GoBuster. So let's do part 2 of this. So let's see what's going to happen in part 2 here. Okay, so part 2 basically just picks up from part 1, and this is actually very similar to what would happen in the real world. So if you find an extension to a domain like login, the next piece is to actually go to that domain and see if you can log in. So one of the most common usernames is admin, and we want to start our attack using that admin as the username and then try to guess the password. So you can use these common passwords, which are all listed on the RockU password list, or we can use something like Hydra, which again, I think we should. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go through 5 passwords, but if we have to go through thousands or tens of thousands of passwords, in that case, we can use a software like Hydra. In the terminal on the lower right, let's run the following command. And so Hydra is the command that would instantiate the tool. L is going to be something for login with admin. And then so you give it the admin username. If you do a capital L, you can give it a list of usernames, and it would be in the form of a TXT file, very similar to what's here. And then a lowercase p could be the actual password that you want to use. An uppercase P would be the list of passwords that you want to use. You're going to use the domain name that you want to hack. HTTP post form is going to be what we're going to use as the module for Hydra, which is going to be the login form, and we're going to make a post request via HTTP. We're going to talk about this a little bit later in this series. And then we have the actual domain itself that we're going to provide. So it's going to be all inside of the quotations, and it's going to be inside the quotes. You're going to have /login because that's the extension of this specific domain that we're going to go. And then the username is going to be user inside of these up arrows, I guess is what we can call them. And then password is going to be inside of that. And then F is going to be incorrect, which is the failed message that we're going to get. And if you have an incorrect attempt, you would see the word incorrect on this form, and then that's how you know that you had the incorrect login. And you need to be able to, you have to provide that to Hydra as well, so it knows which username and password combination was failed, and then from there you would know which one is going to be the successful one. Sorry about the sound of the helicopter in the background. I'm pretty sure the mic pick that up because it's a very sensitive mic. So from here, now we're going to actually run the Hydra command to be able to find the secret message that we were able to find when we officially log in. So first, let's go to the login website, and there it is. So we are here officially. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go down here and run this entire command. So I'm going to speed through this, and then I'll show you the final command. It's literally going to be exactly this command. So in case you didn't know, there you go. If you're already logged into this room, because this is another free room inside of TryHackMe, you'll have access to this already. But just in case you didn't know, that's what the command does. I'm going to be typing right now in super speed. Let's go. Okay, so there you go. This specific character right here, the upward arrow, is on my keyboard, it's the number 6. So if you hold down shift and then press the number 6, you would get that. And then we're going to press this, and then there we go. Okay, so it said that it found one completed password, which is QWERTY, which is essentially just if you take your left hand above the home key. So instead of having your pinky on A and then your index on F, you just move your hand up, your pinky would be on Q, and then you just press push down on each one of those things, and then you would get the password. So this is actually a very weak password, obviously. Let me make sure I actually don't press anything extra. There we go. And there we go. So born to be hacker. That is the message that we got. Boom. Just like that. We were able to hack our website, and using Hydra, a powerful tool. We're going to learn all about Hydra in future rooms, as you already saw inside of the outline video, which is episode 0 of this specific pathway. And so that's pretty much it. And now we're going to take another look at the careers in cybersecurity portion. This is a really big question, and this is the question that ended up starting this entire learning pathway on this channel. The CySec101 playlist and the CySec101 training series was from somebody. Darnell is his name. I'm going to keep referencing Darnell because he's the guy that was the reason for this. People often wonder how to become hackers or security consultants or defenders, which is security analysts fighting cybercrime. And the answer is simple: break it down, learn an area of cybersecurity that you're interested in, and regularly practice using hands-on exercises. Build a habit of learning a little bit each day on TryHackMe, and you'll acquire the knowledge to get your first job in the industry. Paul went from a construction worker to security engineer. Cassandra went from a music teacher to security pro. Brandon used TryHackMe a while at school to get his first job in cyber. And there are a lot of careers. So you can be a penetration tester for testing technology products, for finding exploitable security vulnerabilities. You can be a red teamer, which is on a big team of offensive security people. So you can be the role of an adversary attacking an organization, providing feedback from an enemy's perspective. And you can be a security engineer who designs, monitors, and maintains security controls, networks, and systems to help prevent cyber attacks. This is also just not all of the list of the roles that are available in cybersecurity. There is also a lot more roles available in cybersecurity. This just happens to be 3 of the really, really popular roles that are out there, and they're kind of fun to mention. That's probably why they mentioned it inside of this specific room inside of this training series. And just like that, we have wrapped the Become a Hacker room. That was also one of the recommended rooms that was inside the Offensive Security Introduction that we did inside of the Cybersecurity 101 training series and pathway. So if you found this useful, and if you want to continue down, I love this car, by the way. This is one of my favorite cars of all time. If you want to continue down this pathway with us, the CySec101 pathway, I do recommend that you like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so that you get notified the next time that a video comes out. It also looks really interesting because the sun is all obviously down, and I only have this one little light that's behind my computer, and so you only get to kind of see this part that's illuminated. But anyways, make sure you like, subscribe, turn on notification bell so that you get notified the next time that a video comes out. There's all the videos that already exist on this channel, including the SOC level 2, SOC level 1, the pen test stuff, all these great things that are available here. And then of course, drop a comment. So again, this specific training series was inspired by this guy right here, Darnell Knights 3147, who asked if we could actually make something to show where to start, and then kind of number it so that they know what the next one comes in, and so on and so forth. So that's exactly why the CySec 101 training series was actually started, because of Darnell's comments. So I do pay attention to the comments. I respond to all of the comments that come in, and if it's a good comment that has a serious question or like a really robust question, I'll make a video in response to it. Or in this case, which is the very first case, I'll make a training series, an actual playlist dedicated to one person's comment, but that person's comment probably applies to a lot of other people as well. So all of the people who are watching this video, go subscribe to Darnell and just give him a shout out. Thank him for actually requesting this training series, because if it wasn't for him, I probably would have done this at some point, but I wouldn't have done it as soon as I'm doing it right now. So thanks, Darnell. Shout out to Darnell. And just yeah, make sure you drop a comment, like, subscribe, turn on the notification bell so that you get notified the next time that a video comes out in this specific pathway, which is the CySec 101 training series. And of course, make sure you check out Hackaholics Anonymous. This is my baby. This is our paid community. We have 4 tiers. There's the supporter, the agent, the guardian, and the master. And the supporter starts at $4.99. You get access to our Discord chat, which is actually something that I just launched. We previously did not have a Discord server for the supporter group. We only had it for the advanced groups, but now we actually have a Discord server that is dedicated to the supporter group, and you guys can get access to me directly as well as all of our advanced members. So if you have any questions about what's going on in cybersecurity, any specific questions about your path that you're on, or if you just want to make sure that you're inside of a community of people who will support you along this journey, I do recommend that you check that out. And of course, watch the video to see all the other perks that are attached to the advanced memberships, which is something like the Python automation downloads, the exclusive downloads that come in, the exclusive content that comes in. We have live streams that happen every single month, and there's a lot of other perks that are also attached to it. I don't want to take the steam away from the actual video itself. So you can either watch the video to see what's available, or if you click this read more button right here inside of the description of the video, you'll be able to see all the other things that are breaking down and what all the other stuff is that you will get access to. So I highly recommend that you check out Hackaholics Anonymous if you have not done so already, and I would love to see you inside of the Discord servers and the Discord chats. This is your boy Hank Hackerson at Hank Hacks Hackers, your favorite network and system attacker / protector. Love, peace, and chicken grease. If no one else loves you, Hank loves you. I will see you in the next video. Later.